The Great Gospel of John, Volume 1. First Day in Sishar, Chapter 51. At Sishar, the angels talk to the apprehensive dinner guests. The Sisharite Gospel, the story of Nathanael's conversion, the Lord's command of silence about his deity until he be uplifted on the cross. Says the high priest, "Lord, are we to commence eating again? Did we not already fortify ourselves with food and drink at the start of supper? I, for one, am fully fortified and can neither eat nor drink more." Say I, "You have answered rightly, for you are filled with food and precious wine from the heavens. But there are many here who dared to neither eat nor drink, because they held no regard yet for my name or my word, and were frightened as of witchcraft. But now that they heard our talk, and comprehended its lucid truth, their foolish fear left them, and hunger and thirst took its place. Now they would like to eat and drink, but do not dare for all their reverence. Do you think one should let them go like that? Oh, that be far from us. They shall now eat and drink heartily, because they shall henceforth not eat or drink from this kitchen, except once in my kingdom in the heavens." After this correction, I again exhorted the crowds to eat and drink, and also said to the youths, "Don't let them miss out on anything." And the youths once again brought a good amount of bread and wine and all kinds of precious fruits. But some worried about whether to eat the unknown fruits. And the youths spoke, "Dear brethren, eat all these fruits without fear, because they are clean and of exquisite flavour. There certainly are on this earth a number of fruits, grasses, and animals in whose formation unclean spirits are at work, because it is written into the Lord's order. Because here also the devils have to serve the Lord, even if they won't or cannot do so voluntarily. Because just as a slave has to serve his master in chains, just so the devils also must serve. But the blessing is not in such work. And so there are, upon this earth, where not infrequently men, animals, and devils live under one roof, and active after their kind, all kinds of deeds, works, and fruits of a bad and unclean nature and species, of which men should not partake if they desire to avoid all kinds of earthly diseases. And the Lord has through his servant Moses for that reason determined all those things which are clean and good, and has counselled men against using those things upon which unclean spirits are at work. And this is a splendid order. But everything offered here for your enjoyment is most clean, because brought here from the heavens for you supernaturally. Hence, you may enjoy everything fearlessly, because what the Father gives from the heavens is most clean and advances the life of soul and spirit forever. This instruction on the part of the wise youths cheered every heart, and all praised God for the friendly wisdom of these youths. This teaching also was recorded later, maintaining itself in this town and district for many years. But when afterwards this city and district were ravaged by sundry foes, much perished, and this teaching with it, to which Paul once made a mystical allusion in one of his letters where he speaks of all kinds of spirits. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 14, the translator. The entire company now were in good spirits, and discussed me and my teaching, and this meal from the heavens among themselves, and the youths discussed many things with the guests. Nathanael, however, got up and spoke to the guests. "Dear friends and brethren, only a few months ago, I was still a fisherman in the district of Bethabara on the river Jordan, not far from its estuary. A most unassuming man came to John and allowed himself to be baptized, and John, without ever having seen him physically on earth, immediately gave him this testimony: 'Behold, the Lamb of God that taketh away the sin of the world.' And again, John testified and spoke, 'He it is of whom I said, He it is who, coming after me, is preferred before me, whose shoes latch I am not worthy to loose.' Such testimony I heard from the preacher in the desert, and I became reflective, made off, and related it to my wife and children at home. And these were greatly astonished that the strict preacher gave another human such testimony. Because it was hard to speak with the preacher, and when he spoke his words were rough, and he spared no one, whether it was a Pharisee, priest, or Levite. All had to jump for life or death over the sword of his tongue. When, however, he who is now a Lord among us came, then John became a lamb among lambs, and became as tender as a lark singing its song of spring. In short, my family could hardly believe my tale, since they knew how John was wont to speak only too well. 2 days later, however, I went about my day's work quite early, sat under a tree to repair my fishing gear, when he whom John had given this delicate testimony came to me in company of a few who already followed him, called me by my name, and asked me to follow him. And when I wondered at how he knew me thus, since I had not met him previously, he said, "Wonder not greatly, for verily I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. And behold, what the Lord had spoken to me then has now most gloriously fulfilled itself here. All the heavens stand open, and the angels descend and minister unto him and all of us. What further proof do we need that he alone is the one who is to come in accordance with the promises proclaimed to all the children of Israel, starting with Adam? I therefore regard him as more than just the Messiah. He is..." Here I interrupt Nathanael, saying, "My dear friend and brother, for the present only, this far and no further. Only after this flesh shall have been uplifted by the Jews, you can say everything that you know about me, unreservedly, but not before, under any circumstances. Because men are not ready for this yet." Nathanael accepted that, yet could nevertheless not understand what I meant by the uplifting of my flesh. But he was silent and of sad countenance. But I consoled him and reminded him of what I had told him previously in this matter, and he became cheerful and praised me in his heart. But the morning of the following day began to dawn. Yet no one felt any trace of tiredness or sleep, because all were fortified as never before, even after soundest sleep. All therefore asked me if they could tarry with me for the day, and I acceded to such their devout request.